Leviathan, or the matter, form, and power of a commonwealth, ecclesiastical and civil, by Thomas Hobbes. Part 3. Types. Excerpt. There are three: monarchy, aristocracy, and democracy. The difference of commonwealths consisted in the difference of the sovereign, or the person representation of all and every one of the multitude, and because the sovereignty is either in one man, or in an assembly of more than one. And into that assembly either every man hath the right to enter, or not every one, but certain men distinguished from the rest. It is manifest that there can be but three types of commonwealth, for the representation must needs be one man or more, and if it's more, then it is assembly of all or but part. When the representative is one man, then the commonwealth a monarchy. When an assembly of all that come together, then it is a democracy, or popular commonwealth. When an assembly of part only, then it is called an aristocracy. And only three, since unlike Aristotle, he does not subdivide them into good and deviant. Other kind of commonwealth there can be none, for either one or more or all must have the sovereign power, which I've shown to be indivisible, entire. There be other names of government in the histories in books of policy as tyranny and oligarchy, but they are not the names of other forms of government, but of same forms misliked. For they that are discontented under monarchy call it tyranny. They that are displeased with aristocracy call it oligarchy. So also they that find themselves grieved under democracy call it anarchy, which signifies want of government. And yet I think no man believes the want of government is any new kind of government. Nor by the same reason ought they to believe that the government is one kind when they like it, and another when they mislike it or are oppressed by the governors. And monarchy is best on practical grounds. The difference between these three types of commonwealth consisteth not in a difference of power, but in the difference of convenience or aptitude to produce the peace and security of the people, for which end they were instituted. And to compare monarchy with the other two, we may observe first that whosoever beareth the person of the people, or is one of the assembly that bears it, beareth also his own natural person. And although he be careful in his political person to procure the common interest, yet he is more or no less careful to procure the private good of himself, his family, his kindred, and friends. And for the most part, if the public interest chance to cross the private, he prefers the private, for the passions of men are more commonly potent than their reason. From whence it follows that where the public and private interests are more closely united, there is public most advanced. Now in monarchy, the private interest is the same as the public. The riches, power, and honor of a monarch arise only from the riches, strength, and reputation of his subjects. For no king can be rich, nor glorious, nor secure, whose subjects are either poor or contemptible, or weak through want or dissension to maintain a war against their enemies. Whereas in a democracy or aristocracy, the public prosperity confers not so much the private fortune of one that is corrupt or ambitious, as doth many of the perfidious advice or treacherous action or a civil war.